honestly shocking truth about English vocabulary. If you've ever felt completely stuck or just overwhelmed while trying to learn English, you are in the exact right place. We're going to completely flip the script on how you approach fluency.
So I want you to pause for just a second and be totally honest with yourself. When you think about actually becoming fluent, how many words do you think you really need to know? Just guess a number in your head. Got it? Okay, hold on to that number, because the reality of the English dictionary is usually the exact thing that stops learners dead in their tracks before they even begin.
The English language has over 170,000 words. Yeah, over 170,000. When you hear a massive number like that, how does it make you feel? For most people, it triggers instant stress, right? It's just overwhelmingly huge. You're probably thinking, how on earth am I ever going to learn all of that? And honestly, this huge number traps so many learners in this endless, exhausting cycle of memorization. It makes you feel like you just never know enough to actually start speaking.
But here is the massive relief. You absolutely do not need 170,000 words. You can speak clear, natural, daily English with just 521 simple words. That's literally it. Not tens of thousands, not thousands, just 521. A really small, powerful group of high-frequency words used in the right way. This one single fact changes the whole shebang.
Okay, let's move right into Section 1, the vocabulary overload myth.
You know, we've kind of been approaching this all wrong. The problem isn't the number of words you know, it's how you learn them. Think about all those unused dictionary words out there taking up space. Here's something most people actually don't realize. Even native English speakers do not use all 170,000 words. No way! A normal native speaker only uses about 2,000 to 3,000 words in daily life. But here's the real secret. Most everyday conversations just repeat a tiny core group of 521 high-frequency words. We're talking about incredibly basic verbs like come, do, make, take, and simple feelings like good or bad. Honestly, you probably already know most of them.
So what this means is we need to redefine what fluency actually is. Fluency doesn't mean using big, complex academic words. Fluency simply means speaking smoothly without stopping. Think about what happens when you try to use really difficult vocabulary. You pause, you overthink it, you get nervous. But when you rely on those familiar 521 simple words, your brain feels safe. And when your brain feels safe, you speak faster, you relax, and you build that smooth momentum you absolutely need for true fluency.
I absolutely love this quote. English is not a test, English is a tool. You know, you are here to impress people with massive dictionary words. You are just here to express your own ideas. And those 521 simple words are more than enough of a tool to get your message across perfectly.
Let's jump to Section 2, the metaphor of cars and roads.
Okay, so knowing those 521 words is great, right? But how do we actually connect them without getting stuck? Well, think of vocabulary words as cars and sentence patterns as roads. So many learners spend literally years collecting cars, just memorizing lists and lists of words. But if you have 100 cars and absolutely no roads, you can't go anywhere. You feel stuck when it's time to speak because you don't have a clear path to connect those words. You really don't need more cars. You need strong, clear roads. You need sentence patterns to let your words actually move smoothly in real life.
And this right here is the key difference between traditional and natural learning. Traditional learning basically forces you to memorize dictionaries and study these really complex grammar rules in total silence. The grammar just stays trapped in the book, not in your mouth. But natural learning? That mimics how a child learns. A kid doesn't sit down and read a dictionary. They listen to simple words, they repeat basic patterns, and they just start speaking. They build the roads first.
Moving on to Section 3, the 5 power patterns. Now this is a highly actionable framework you can start using the literal second this explainer is over. With just 5 essential patterns and a handful of basic verbs, you unlock hundreds of sentences instantly. Take I want to. You just add a simple word. I want to eat. I want to sleep. I want to learn. Or I need to. I need to go. I need to rest. Then there's I am going to for the future, like I am going to work. I like to for your feelings. I like to read. And I have to for responsibilities. I have to wake up early. See how the pattern stays the exact same, only the action changes? That is the real magic of spoken English right there.
So why does this work so incredibly well? Well, because your brain absolutely loves patterns. When your brain sees the same structure over and over again, it just stops overthinking. It completely bypasses that panic of, oh no, which grammar tense do I use? And it automatically remembers the structure. By repeating these simple patterns for just, say, 10 minutes a day, your brain gets faster, your mouth gets stronger, and that fear just disappears. Because repetition builds confidence, and confidence builds fluency.
All right, Section 4, Survival English in Real Life.
English isn't just something you study in a textbook, it's something you actually use in your everyday life. And you really don't need complex, super formal thoughts to get through your day. Think about your morning. You don't need to sound like a robot and say, I am experiencing fatigue. You just use survival English. I wake up early, I feel tired. Simple. At work, it's not, I am overwhelmed with tasks. It's just, I go to work, I feel stressed. And hey, even if you make a little mistake and say, yesterday I go to work, is it grammatically flawless? Nope. But is your message 100% clear? Absolutely. Survival English relies on simple, direct messages. Because in real life, people aren't grading your grammar. They're just responding to the clear message you're giving them.
Bringing us to Section 5, Overcoming the Fear of Speaking.
Now, this addresses the real reason why so many learners just stay silent. Let's be totally honest here. The problem isn't vocabulary. The problem is that quiet little voice in your head asking, what if I'm wrong? But listen to me. Fear doesn't come from the English language itself. Fear comes from the pressure to be perfect and correct all the time. That pressure literally blocks your voice before you even open your mouth. But using those 521 simple words completely removes that pressure. It makes your brain feel safe enough to actually give it a try.
And this is a truth you've just got to accept today. Confidence does not come before speaking, confidence comes after speaking. You are never, ever going to wake up one morning and magically feel 100% ready. Ready isn't something you wait around for, it's something you build. Think about a little kid learning to talk. A child doesn't speak perfectly, but they speak freely, right? Completely without fear of judgment. And that is the exact mindset we need to adopt.
So here is your highly actionable daily plan. First, pick a part of your daily life. Maybe your morning routine, your commute, or just hanging out at home. Second, create 5 simple sentences using those power patterns we just talked about. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, speak them out loud. Your mouth actually has to move. Speaking is a physical skill, kind of like playing a sport. You can't build a physical skill silently in your head. The more you actually move your mouth, the stronger your speaking becomes.
So after watching this explainer, I have a question for you. Will you go back to silence, or will you take one small step forward today? Remember, your real goal is to express yourself, not to impress others. You have the 521 words, you have the 5 road-building patterns. Now the choice is totally up to you. Keep practicing, keep speaking out loud, and let your voice be heard. Thanks so much for learning with me today.